This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
A Supreme Court jury has today heard graphic details from a recorded police interview where a man described a fight that killed his friend. The trial today hearing the prosecutor's closing address, who told the jury it was a ferocious attack on a man who was unable to defend himself.
A gruelling trial for the loved ones of Donald Crowe. Hobart's Supreme Court today hearing graphic details of the final moments of his life. A recorded police interview with murder-accused Russell Novoskinski, the final piece of evidence shown to the jury. In it, he starts crying when asked what his friend was like, saying to the officer, "He was my mate, we got on like a house on fire." Detailing what allegedly happened on the Interlaken Road in June 2016. He tells police there was an altercation that got out of control and that he went into an uncharacteristic rage, going ballistic because he was panicking and scared of Mr Crowe. The police questioning why blood was smeared all over Mr Novoskinski's face and head and why he had pictures and videos of his face on his mobile phone after the incident. To this, he replied, "No, it was an accident. I didn't take a picture as a trophy," and that the blood was from headbutting. The recording shows him breaking down during the interview with his head in his hands, saying, "I was in the middle of nowhere. No one was there, no one." In his closing address this afternoon, the prosecutor told the jury they should be satisfied beyond reasonable doubt that this was a murder case, due to the fact Mr Crowe suffered numerous blows to his head, was stomped and kicked while he was on the ground and was unable to defend himself. Defence is expected to make its closing submissions tomorrow, with the jury then due to retire to consider its verdict. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Tasmanians are being promised cheaper power prices, regardless of who wins the March 3rd election, with both major parties now committing to exit the national electricity market. Labor says it would de-link our power prices from Victoria's within 12 months, 2 years sooner than the Liberals.
Our farmers are just some of the many Tasmanians Labor says will benefit from its energy policy.
We will provide for lower power prices, and we will do that by linking our power prices with the cost of production here in Tasmania, de-linking from the mainland wholesale price.
The Labor Green government connected our power prices with Victoria's back in 2013. But due to recent national energy issues, prices are now volatile.
What we would do is create a new mechanism where we would link our wholesale energy market to the cost of production for hydro, and we would start to do that within the first 12 months of a majority Labor government.
The Liberals have also pledged to exit the market, but say it will take at least 3 years.
Tasmanians should be paying Tasmanian prices for Tasmanian energy. We have what the rest of the country wants. That's cheap power, reliable power, renewable power. We've got it, and we're going to deliver the lowest power prices in Australia by 2022.
Exactly how much Tasmanians will save by delinking the state remains unclear. The Liberals say it will decrease power prices by 10%. Labor says it won't make false promises.
So they're making claims about a 10% reduction without any evidence to back it up.
As part of Labor's energy policy, it also announced today it will ensure every new public housing property is renewable, review solar tariffs within a year, retain the Tamar Valley Power Station, use TasNetwork dividends to fund initiatives, and aim to generate 120% of Tasmania's energy needs from renewable sources.
This would create the business case for a second interconnector, because we could then export the excess energy we generate on this island to the rest of Australia.
We want to be 100% renewable by 2022. We're on track to achieve that.
Monica Dadson, Southern Cross News.
Still on the election trail, and the State Liberal Party has continued its education pledges, committing to build a brand new Year 7 to 12 high school at Brighton, costing $30 million.
This is something that has been on the drawing board for a long time, and many in the community will welcome this announcement, because the Brighton municipality is one which is growing, which is prosperous, and which deserves and needs a school of its own.
The Liberal Party promises come a little bit too late when they took 2 teachers out of every school as their first act in the 2014 budget.
The proposed new school would cater for around 600 students. Tasmania's fruit fly control zone is being extended after more suspected larvae was detected at a property in Devonport. Biosecurity Tasmania says the larva was found in a fruit tree close to a kitchen and adjacent to a commercial orchard. It's now being tested and biosecurity staff have started treating the property. The detection comes after a suspected adult fruit fly was caught in Georgetown yesterday. Investigations are ongoing there, but the Primary Industries Minister believes it's likely the insect is a fruit fly. A US Coast Guard icebreaker has docked in Hobart after an Antarctic mission plagued by mechanical problems. 150 crew are enjoying some shore time after battling through engine issues and a leak around a propeller shaft.
The Polar Star edges into Hobart this morning, weighing more than 13,000 tonnes, needing the help of tugs to manoeuvre the ship into dock.
The last couple of days have been pretty rough offshore. So you can imagine how welcome this city was when we come in. You see the surrounding area nice, and it was a wonderful sight.
The Polar Star docking in Tasmania after its mission to Antarctica. The icebreaker creating a safe channel for cargo and oil tanker ships, paving the way for resupplying the main US base on the icy continent. The ship carving a path through ice as thick as 6 metres, using its immense weight and 75,000 horsepower from 3 gas turbines.
We cut a channel and then we escort the ships into the base so that they could bring food, supplies and fuel to last the year to support the science operations in Antarctica on the whole continent.
Hobart a welcome sight after mechanical troubles during the trip. Emergency repairs needed in the depths of the Southern Ocean after a propeller shaft seal failed, flooding the engine room with icy water. Progress was also hindered by an engine failure. But for this 24-year-old, the scenery was worth it.
Never in a million years did I ever expect to ever go to Antarctica. I wish I could put words to describe what it's like down there, but it's just like unlike anything I've ever seen.
The Polar Star in dock for the weekend, taking on supplies including fresh fruit and piles of mail. The crew getting a chance to explore Tasmania.
You'll hear a lot about being able to travel all over the world. That it really is amazing, and I had never left the United States before joining the Coast Guard.
Homeport is the destination many crew have their eye on, with the Polar Star expected back in Seattle next month. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Tasmanian motorists are fuming over a gridlock that affected Hobart last night. Several crashes, wet weather and peak traffic created a perfect storm, banking up vehicles right across the city. The Tasman Highway was reduced to a crawl all the way past the Mornington turnoff. The RACT says some motorists were stuck for up to 3 hours.
Well, what we're seeing is our roads are at capacity on a normal day, so if there's any incident, and yesterday's incident where there were 3 crashes at peak period, mean that we get to gridlock, which is an unacceptable level.
There were also reports of poor driver behaviour, including vehicles queuing across intersections. A driver had a lucky escape after his car rolled onto its roof in Glenorchy this morning. Emergency services controlled traffic on Tolosa Street while the damaged vehicle was towed away. The man wasn't injured. And emergency crews were called to a gas scare in West Hobart this afternoon. Workers called the fire service fearing they had hit a gas line during excavations. It turned out they'd hit a disused sewer pipe, releasing residual fumes. The pipe has been isolated and sealed. Hundreds of buyers have flocked to the annual Magic Millions yearling sale, with a record number travelling from interstate. Close to 130 horses went under the hammer in what's being described as one of the country's best performing auctions.
Many eyes on this youngster.
For 19, Barry.
Bay Colt from Tasmanian breeder Grenville Stud, selling for $90,000, fetching the 3rd highest price of the day.
Really happy to secure him for under 6 figures. I thought he'd bring more than that, so it was a good value. He's just a real athlete. He was the best walker in the sale. He had a real good physique on him, and he had a really good attitude.
Lloyd is just one of the prospective buyers from across the country who are keen to snatch up racing's next big thing.
You guys obviously breed some nice horses down here, and I think it's probably been hidden for a little while from the mainland, and a few people are starting to get onto it now and get involved.
What the interstate buyers do is bring national prominence to Tasmania and to this sale. It's proven over a number of years now that the return on investment is significant.
But not every horse found a new home, with nearly a third passed in.
Look, the last couple of years there's been fantastic interest from both local and interstate buyers due to the success of Tasmanian progeny, both here locally and interstates.
There are close to 130 thoroughbred horses here by 53 stallions, and typically buyers base their decision around how the horse looks, its conformation and its family ties.
Obviously, we've got a good understanding of the family lines and so forth, so you've had families that have worked well in the past, but primarily buying the horse that you like, sort of a nice type and something that you think can get up and run.
Rita Risk, Southern Cross News.
Dozens of rare ancient Chinese artefacts will now be on display in a new exhibition coinciding with the Chinese New Year. The Wong collection has been donated by a Chinese historian and a prolific collector, some dating back thousands of years.
So we've got items that are from the 20th century, so things that are only maybe 30, 40, 50 years old, but we also go right back to the Neolithic period, things from 200 BC. So beautiful pottery items from centuries ago.
A Chinese New Year's celebration will be held tomorrow on the lawns of QV Mag. Looking at the day's business and finance news now, with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. Australian shares have closed more than 1% higher, lifted by strong gains for the miners, energy producers and financial sectors, as local companies posted upbeat results. The ASX 200 index rose by 67.8 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 79.33 US cents and 107.55 New Zealand cents.
Thousands of footy fans are expected to pack out Kingston's Twin Ovals on Saturday when the ground hosts the first JLT community match of the series. And if all goes well, it could mean more large-scale events for the region.
It's set to be the biggest crowd the ground has seen since opening in 2011, with 6,000 people expected to turn out.
You know, everyone who's been part of the Twin Ovals, since its inception, has been waiting for the opportunity to have an AFL game.
Saturday week, that opportunity arrives when the Kangaroos take on the Demons in the opening JLT Community Series match.
We've got about 80 volunteers. We've had a subcommittee working together for about 3 months. Looking at just working out all the logistics.
And with just the one road in and out of the ground, the Kingborough Council has also been working to prevent traffic chaos on the day.
Certainly some plans, and we've published this week on as to where some parking will be, so there's going to be over 2,000 parking spaces within 5 minutes walk.
The match could also prove a trial run for more events like it in the future, with plans to eventually add new interchange boxes and an extra 4,000 seats.
If we just continually work with council and government, eventually the ground will become a little boutique AFL Oval.
The match begins at 2 p.m. on February 24.
To cricket, and with just 10 points separating top from bottom on the ladder, the battle for a Sheffield Shield final spot is heating up. The Tigers will be looking to make amends following a disappointing showing against Queensland when they take on Western Australia in Hobart tomorrow.
With more than 10 players injured or on international duties, Western Australia will field a young, inexperienced team for tomorrow's Blunston Arena clash, but the Tigers won't be taking them lightly.
But I think the guys coming in will be quite hungry, looking to put their best foot forward, because they know that they don't get many opportunities. So they've still got some dangerous players, and they've still got Hilton, Cartwright and Ashton Turner.
Following their 206-run loss to Queensland, Rainbird and the Tigers will be looking to bounce back, with the side currently sitting second last on the Shield ladder.
I think it was bit disappointing at the Gabba. Obviously we had momentum before the Big Bash and then probably lost it a bit that game.
With just 4 matches left to play and only a couple of wins separating top from bottom, finals are still within reach, and Rainbird is keen to play a pivotal role with the ball to help them get there.
Things have been going to plan this year, which is good. I know me and Griff sat down at the start of the year and talked about what's ahead for me and just try and keep things simple and easy, and I think we've done that pretty well. And
Andrew Feckerty and Hamish Kingston replace the injured Jackson Bird and Gabe Bell, with the match beginning at 10:30 tomorrow morning.
And Tasmanian cyclist Richie Port has given an ultimatum to BMC Racing. Port says BMC has until May 1 to find a new sponsor, or else he will consider looking for another team. BMC's current sponsorship agreement runs out at the end of this year. It comes after Port made his European debut for this season in Portugal last night. Surely this is the year he claims a Tour de France, Joe. Surely that's it for sport.
You'd think so, wouldn't you, Tom? Thanks so much.
Good evening. Hobart and Devonport 21 today, Launceston 22 and Burnie 18 degrees. 24 was the top at Friendly Beaches as a cold front and a vigorous westerly flow across the state. Mount Reid the highest rainfall with 15 millimetres and temperatures dropped to between 2 and 6 below average. Fingal 22, Campania, Bushy Park and Flinders Island 20, Low Head and Grove 19, Wynyard 18 and King Island 17. Bring us back that hot weather from a couple of weeks ago. Now that fast moving frontal cloud band is moving over our region and Victoria, cloud and thunderstorm activity is over the Kimberley area. Now that's linked to a tropical low. Isolated thunderstorms also over the Dead Heart. Some high-level cloud moved over the state today, over the open cellular cloud. The striations in the cloud, evidence there of a turbulent atmosphere. Tomorrow, Tasmania remains in that westerly airstream. The ridge of high pressure over South Australia extends further east. A broad area of low pressure remains over the rest of the country. So as we mentioned, westerlies again. Tomorrow up to 25 to 30 knots and to 40 knots over southern waters, swells to 5 metres. Gale warning for waters between Tasman Island and Low Rocky Point. Strong wind warnings from Stanley to St Helens Point and from Low Rocky Point to Sandy Cape. A small craft wind alert for the lakes. Tomorrow, a possible shower and windy, 18 degrees in Hobart, a shower or two for Huonville and 17 and 18 for Campania, a bit of cloud cover. Partly cloudy in the north, Launceston 20, 19 for Devonport and Georgetown. Further to the northwest and Burnie 20, 18 with a shower, Strawn and Wynyard cloudy and 20 degrees, while for St Helens partly cloudy and 21. Cloudy for Swansea, 19 the top. A few showers clearing in the morning from Port Arthur and also a top of 19 degrees. The UV 8 and 9 and that's very high. On Saturday, showers over the west and far south, extending to the southeast in the evening. Early showers on Sunday for the west and south again, and later on for the east and north. And conditions improving on Monday, but still cloudy. Sunny and warm in Perth tomorrow, a little cloud for Adelaide and Melbourne. Sunny for Sydney and Canberra, a possible shower for Brisbane and a definite shower for Darwin. Partly cloudy and 16 in Hobart, 19 right now in Launceston, mostly clear in Devonport and currently 18 degrees. Not the best weather for all the Chinese New Year celebrations that are going on, Joe, but I know you don't get fired up until the Year of the Dragon.
Whatever. He's awful to me. He really is. That's all from the news team for now. We will, of course, see you with updates throughout the evening. Thanks for your company. Good night.